the point where I knew Putin was going to invade wasn't so much where this exquisite intelligence was produced that predicted exactly his plans. It was the essay he wrote on the destiny of Ukraine and Russia. And that was about not just Ukraine and the fact that an independent sovereign Ukraine was anathema to a rising and great Russia, but also about the unacceptability of Eastern European states, formerly members of the Warsaw Pact, the Russian sphere of influence, having an independent foreign policy of their own, and a demand that they put limits on their own choice, including by not being in NATO. He's been super clear about that. And when he talks about the root causes of the war, that's what he's talking about. So we shouldn't be under any illusion. For our part in the West, I don't think we've thought about that stuff for 10 minutes. We thought that this was a settled thing, that the Soviet Union had collapsed, that Eastern European countries were now the same as Western European countries and had sovereign choices. I don't think we've ever thought of that being in contention. But that's not how it looks to Russia. Subsequently, of course, in addition, Putin has actually optimized for war. He's changed the structure of his economy. You can argue about how sustainable that is. Indeed, I don't think many people think he can keep on going for more than about 18 months before retrenching. But of course, there's nothing like that's happened here. And that's why I think it's so interesting. And I think when you look at Germany, it's particularly interesting. Have we smelt the coffee? Are we going to change the structure, including of our economies? We don't have to go onto a war footing. If we all spent 3% at PPP, we'd match Russia. But we do have to do something.
Alex, just to kind of extend this a bit more, J.D. Vance often seems to be suggesting, or at least people around Trump seem to be suggesting, that it's okay. Maybe Putin gets Ukraine, but that's the end of it. And he's always wanted Ukraine. It's really been a part of Russia. On the other hand, there would be people in Europe saying, no, wait a sec. This is like Hitler going into Czechoslovakia. Right? We have to worry about Moldova. We have to worry about the Baltics. And in this mindset, we're going to have to fight Putin somewhere, and it'd be better to fight him in Ukraine than elsewhere. Where do you sit on this?
I'd sort of characteristically, I suppose, land about halfway between the two of those. I think that if Putin seemed to be vindicated in Ukraine, he will have been emboldened. But he's visited a terrible price on his people, and he's going to have to make sure that it appears justified. I've already said, in any case, that he seeks more broadly to overturn what he sees as Western bad faith and, an unjust order in Europe. He won't have the capability to do that. I think the Russian army will take at least 5 years to grow to the possibility where it has any expeditionary capability. I think it's much more likely that we just see really significant challenge in the hybrid space. So, in the way that we've seen before, I think Moldova and Georgia are rapidly in trouble. And I think you get probing in the Russian-speaking communities in the Baltic states. You get all the sorts of stuff that we're seeing already, the disruption and the sabotage and the misinformation, but more so. And what he will be doing is probing for weakness. I think he's got a really overstated reputation as a strategist. He isn't one. But what he's very good at doing is just insistently probing for weakness and then reinforcing success. So our task again, we can't let the best be the enemy of the good. We're not going to build up Russian scale military in that period of time. We've just got to make sure that we can rise to what will be a set of provocations or probes, recognizing that the reason he invaded Ukraine in the first place is he got the wrong idea about our willingness to respond to his aggression. And surely we don't want to make that mistake again.